Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. I'm just wiping up. I'm eating artichoke pizza over there. Unbelievable. Jay Tom is still here. So, Jay, now, were you an athlete yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started out really as a little skinny guy. And
You were, you know, I mean,
last guy picked kind of thing, right, when I was a kid. And I was fast. They called me Roach, and I ran, you know, because I was being chased and stuff usually. But when I was about, I must have been about 11 years old, maybe 12.
Yeah.
I'm playing sandlot football. And, again, last guy picked or whatever, you know, and you know, afraid of the ball. And what the hell with this equipment?
Don't worry about it.
It's the worst equipment. What is this, Dish TV?
Nice. Good one. Perfect.
Not cheap bastard. So somebody flips me the ball on the sidelines. I'm trying to get in the game, you know, and they're playing, you know, touch.
Yeah.
And they throw the ball to me, and I take it, and I hum it, and it goes like 30 or 40 yards, a perfect spiral.
She had an arm.
No, and what's crazy, I used to throw rocks and stuff and do stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know why. I played football all the time. I never picked the ball up and threw it. So everybody looks, and the guy says, well, do that again. So I threw it again. The next thing you know, I'm throwing these rockets, right? So the next week, I'm the captain of my team, and I'm the quarterback.
Wow.
And my life changed. I would go to – I did this into my, 40s. Right. I would go to a playground. And you've played football. I'll tell you the funniest thing. Not many guys can throw a football. Guys can catch it. Guys can run with it, right? They can block.
Yeah.
You don't meet a lot of guys
You can honestly throw a ball.
that zip it or whatever.
Accurately.
I would go to a playground. There's some guys playing whatever. I would have a guy throw me a ball, and I would warm up just fool around on the sidelines, and somebody would come over and go, hey, you want to play? And I would do it everywhere, all over the country. And so then I had played in high school, but I played I was a blocking back for a guy about your size. I played in the single wing. And then I blew my knees out.
then it goes.
All that.
Yeah.
Then I got into radio, you know, and I played flag or city league or whatever I could play. And one day I went out, and there was a community college in Charlotte called Central Piedmont. They were going to play against the North Carolina State freshmen or something for this championship.
Right.
They had freshman teams back then.
So you're in Charlotte working.
And the guy comes on the radio promoting the game, right? So I go, hey, let me come out and throw against your defense tomorrow night.
And how old are you at this point?
My 20s,
Okay,
you know, 23,
so
whatever.
young,
So
right,
I'm out of college already.
Yeah.
I'm out of school. And so I go out there that night, and we do it as a radio bit. And I put on the red thing and all like that. They'd never been scored against in the air. I knocked 3 or 4 out of the box.
Right.
And the coach comes to me and said, will you play with us next year? I re-enrolled in the community college.
That's hilarious.
Because, you know, they didn't have the internet, and you didn't know who was
Right,
who. And I
great.
re-enrolled, did my knees all up, and I played for 2 years. We ended up winning the championship. Then we were like 30-4 or something
That
like
is
that.
hilarious.
It was fabulous. We would play Fort Bragg. We'd play all these guys that come home from Vietnam and all this stuff.
Yeah.
We would play Duke, Davidson, Ferrum Junior College. We played a lot of junior. St. Mary's.
Right.
We played Catholic in Washington. It was really tough.
that's
And we
big
were
time
all drunk. We
competition.
were drunks.
Yeah,
And we were miscreants, and no one went to class. Fullback had 5 kids. Chunky Smith, he drove a flower truck. He had 5 kids. Oh, it was fabulous. And I think the coach was all hopped up on something all the time. And this old policeman, Earl Fesperman, was the head coach.
Yeah.
And Earl would always say to me, keep it on the ground, keep it on the ground. I'd throw it in 5 seconds. You want to keep on the ground. For what?
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
And they used to do that. Now it makes
And
sense.
I'm little. I'm not, you know, I'm 5'7.5", you know.
And for a quarterback, you got to see over the line, and I mean, it's not.
You know
easy.
what they did for me? The guys were pretty big. What they did was it was, and this is stupid to say, it was a moving pocket. I either moved left or right, because you're right, I couldn't see down the middle.
Right.
So they moved me left or right, and I wasn't fast because my knees were screwed up.
Right.
And so I could roll out right or left, but these guys protected me. I mean, I just lucked. Had I been on a team that was bad and was getting
If you had no offensive line, you're screwed.
no, I
Yeah.
couldn't have played.
Yeah.
These guys were fantastic. And
Well, that makes sense why now.
a lot of ex-soldiers, a lot of ex-Army guys that
Tough
come back.
guys.
Really big guys, really tough, fun guys. Guys that were smoking dope and didn't want to go to A regular college? I'm not kidding you. We had a lot of fun. And then the World Football League came around, and I went to camp with them, and then the arena started. You know, they've had about 4 arena leagues.
Did you play in the arena?
I played one game in the arena league in Charlotte, and as a joke, they put the cheerleaders in against me, and but I could throw the hell out of the football, so it was fun. I'd make fun of it, but I can really throw it.
So how'd you start doing it? Because on Letterman, Letterman would have you throw the ball at the Christmas tree and everything, right?
Vinny Testaverde, the big idiot, was on that show.
Yeah.
And he was going to the playoffs, and so I come on, and David says, hey, when Vinny comes out here, we're going to throw a football at the meatball and knock it off.
On top of the Christmas tree.
You played football, didn't you? And
I
said,
played a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go off. He says, you come back later. Vinny comes out. I'd bet the Jets the next day, too. I'd have the Jets. So
that's what's so sad.
This is like almost 20 years ago. And so I come back, and I go to Biff, the stage manager, and I go, David wants me back out there for the ball. He goes, I'm sorry, you're not on the list to come back out. I go, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he told me.
And I said, it's Vinny Testaverde. I want to be back. You can't. So I faked. I really did. I threw him a fake. He went one way, and I ran right out. No, I swear to God, it's the truth. And so on my father's dry hole, I swear. So Letterman goes, oh, yeah, Jay. Like that.
Right,
and
he remembers
Biff is
telling you.
like Richie, they were trying to hit it. I take the ball.
I remember this,
and
by the
I
way.
throw like a rocket.
I saw it.
And the meatball goes kaboom, and Vinny goes.
Direct hit.
He goes, he made the meatball explode. He was the dumbest idiot. So
he made the meatball
explode. So you can imagine what the interview was like.
Yeah.
So my 10-year-old son is in the green room. No, God, he's younger than that. He's who knows what he is, 6 or 3 or whatever.
Right.
He starts jumping up and down. My daddy hit the meatball. My daddy hit the meatball. Testaverde's wife, who's in like a mink coat, goes, shut up, little boy.
Really?
Wow. Well,
very mad.
Headlines the next day.
Yeah.
Short comic DJ hits meatball.
Short comic DJ.
I called my bookie and said, take every penny off the Jets.
Good for you.
And he got killed.
Yeah, usually a good idea to take every penny
on
off.
Sunday.
Especially
He couldn't hit a meatball off of a Christmas tree.
Meatball explode.
Yeah.
And then Dave kept having you back every year to do it, right?
20-something years.
That's another thing about Jay's career. Masterful Letterman guest. Always good. What do you think about him retiring?
I could kill us.
When's the last time you were on there?
Christmas time. No.
That's
I
right.
was
We discussed this on your show.
And he had John McEnroe do it.
Oh, okay.
And they did it for me. It was a tribute. I got really sick, and I couldn't do it. So I'll do it again this year. And, people asking me like I'm a Letterman expert about him retiring.
Have you getting a lot of calls?
Yeah, but he's just a miserable individual. He's not friends with anybody.
I did that show.
I only know him from the show. He's nice and all.
Yeah.
But he says ridiculous things at the break. He goes, they hate me. I can't stay. They hate me tonight. I said, well, they like me, so don't screw it up for me. And he goes, I can't stand doing this. I want to retire. This is years ago. And I go, well, then retire. I don't, but don't say it while I'm out here.
You're bumming me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did the show about a dozen times, and he had me on once every few months. He was real nice to me, the same thing. And then when I started becoming the first guest, and I would stay for that break, I noticed that too. He seems to have contempt for the people working with him, too.
Yes.
They come up and he just has this look of, you think you're annoying him,
He's going to be miserable retired.
Yeah, what do you think he's going to? He seems like a guy who wants to work, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I saw a picture of he and his wife once. It was like that gothic thing with the guy with the pitchfork and his wife.
Whistler's mother.
It was just, and he has the cars. What do they have the cars for? Seinfeld has the cars.
I know. Is he a car guy?
And
too?
Leno has the cars. Yeah, what's with the cars?
Yeah. Did you do Leno a lot?
Not after I did Letterman. I did Leno years ago, yeah.
Right, but he would get mad because you were on Letterman?
did Conan years ago, and I didn't get him. I just didn't get it. And he was having trouble getting guests, and they were GE owned NBC or something at the time. Yeah. They offered me appliances to come back on the show, and I didn't do it. And I swear to God, we could have had a refrigerator and he never invited me back.
You
on
were great on Letterman because you appreciated
a good story
and sports, a good story.
I did Jimmy Kimmel. He's really nice. I tried really hard. I don't know what I'm good on certain talk shows, but. Sometimes
you're good on every show. I mean, I just think Letterman knows how to, deal with a good guest.
I say what I say to you guys. I say you're miserable. I say, I said, for somebody, so rich, why are you so stupid? I said that, to him. And everybody laughs, but he does. He just acts really strange.
Yeah. Well, I hope, listen, I've been a fan of his, and then I was lucky enough to be a guest on the show. But,
You'll never see him again.
You're right. He's going to be one of the, like Carson, probably just go.
You'll never see him again.
Go in a room.
But Carson played tennis at least.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's going to be just so miserable. As a fan of his, I'm afraid he's going to be so miserable that he's just going to, just whizzle away to nothing.
Well, I'll be doing, at least I'm sure I'm doing this. So I'm going to say to him, this is many months away. I'm going to say, look, when you retire, you're going to be miserable. And I say, I have a good time all the time.
Right.
I'm going to make sure you have my cell phone number.
Cool.
And you need to call me, man.
And why wouldn't he do that? It seems like a good idea.
I won't be able. I won't need you for anything. You won't have to have a show because you're not going to have any fun.
Well, he makes a good point. He says when he's around other funny people, he feels a pressure to be funny, and I can sort of relate to that a little bit. When I started chumming around with Howard a little bit, and then I know some other guys. You get to be, okay, do you feel like you always have to be on? Maybe he feels that way with you, like he would always have to make you laugh or something.
No, because I'm miserable when I'm away from the microphone. I like being miserable. Yeah. It's fun.
Well, it's funny. People don't realize that about the ironic thing about comedy, at least for me. I like miserable people are the funnier people.
Well, he has a big ranch in Montana.
Yeah.
So, and I have my outdoorsman
He'll
son.
go there.
I would bring my son and teach Dave how to field dress a moose.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
My kid would kill the moose or whatever, and Dave's son would go crazy to learn how to do that, right?
And listen.
And because I do that with my kids.
Got a little
I
kid?
take them, one of them wanted to go to Japan or something, so I took him to Japan. It was horrifying. And we go to Japan. My wife wanted to go on safari. We went on a safari. I hated every minute of it.
You better have
but I went.
This thick glass if I'm going on safari, man.
No, the thing is,
stuff. I'm not going.
Get up. It's dawn. What?
Right.
The lions are going to eat the thing.
They're going to eat an elephant.
And they go and they eat something, and I'm horrified.
Yeah.
Then we go to lunch, and we go back, and in the afternoon, the wildebeest goes up to the river, and the crocodiles are in the river. Yeah. And the wildebeest crosses the river for no reason, and the crocodile gets them and puts them under a log to let them, soften.
Oh, wow.
And then the baby wildebeest gets eaten, and the mother goes, ah. And we have cheese and wine and a basket with little sandwiches.
Where do you stay when you're on safari? When they say wake you up, are you in a tent?
You stay in a bunker type thing with a big,
that.
So one day I take the kids.
Get me at the Four Seasons in Cairo.
I go out the back and I go down in this dried riverbed.
Yeah.
And there's all these tracks, and I'm showing the kids the tracks. And I'd gone through this big fence to get there, right? And the guy comes out and he goes, Buona, what are you doing? And I go, Buona.
He was from Brooklyn, the guy?
Buona.
What are you doing?
I was where the lions and the whatever it is, the
elephant. You were in trouble?
I was in a place where they would come by and eat, right? And I had the kid. They looked like McNuggets to the animals. Right?
That is scary, man.
And you know what? I said, do not tell my wife, here's $1 with a picture of the Queen on it or whatever the hell you people use for money,
Well, listen, I think that's a good idea. You should bring your kid to Montana because Letterman's got the little kid. Teach him. The other thing about Dave is when I worked at Viacom with Howard, there were Viacom executives. I'd start talking, every once in a while we would talk about money and stuff, and they would say, who's got all the money? They'd say, who? Forget about Howard, forget Letterman. Letterman's got all the money because on top of owning 30 million years of salaries, tip money, he owns those 2 time slots, his and the one after. Everyone loves Raymond.
Yes.
He created that show. He's got $1 billion from that. He's got all the money. So you're right. He's going to need. Why not learn how to dress a beast, whatever you're talking about, dress a moose?
No. Field dress. After you shoot it, you have to,
Well, why not learn how to field dress a moose?
Whatever.
Yeah. Why not call
And you know
Jay
what his
Thomas?
son's name is? Harry. Harry Dryhole Letterman. I'll give him a little name.
Listen, Jay, this was great.
Thank you.
This was amazing. So when can we hear your show?
Oh, it's
plug whatever you got.
Sirius XM 101 in the afternoon from 3 to 6, and then I'm on Howard. No, that's Howard's station. I'm on 104
right.
most of the time, and then 101 on
Howard 101
on 2 to 5 o'clock or something.
Did you go to the?
It's a pleasure to meet you. I like to talk football with you sometimes.
Yeah,
because you just kind of sat there like a big idiot.
Did you go to Howard's birthday show?
I was not invited to that.
Oh, really? I didn't either.
But I didn't want it. What are you going to do that for?
I don't know.
Happy birthday to me. I got $100 million a year. Happy birthday. I'm a billionaire. Happy birthday to me. I'd like you to meet, my wife over here who's 6 feet tall and would never fuck you. Happy birthday. Are we still on the radio?
No, we're not.
Oh, thank God.
Anyway, fantasy baseball fans, on opening day, DraftKings.com awarded over $500,000 in cash prizes. $500,000 day one.
Try and sound a little more sincere.
It's easy. Just pick a team in minutes. Any sports fan can do this, Jay. Any sports fan can do it.
There you go. That's
right
better.
now, you can play for free to win real cash. Enter Artie. That's me, Artie, today.
How do I get a show like this?
At DraftKings.com.
I would be good at this.
Hey, listen, just dress like you're going on the deadliest catch. That was perfect. And get free entry into another huge contest. They're awarding over $400,000 in cash prizes. $400,000. Free spots are going.
You can return this mic to Mr. Edison now.
So enter Artie. Now at DraftKings.com, enter Artie. DraftKings.com. Thanks, Jay. Really funny. Back after that.
Thank you very much.
The Artie Lange Show. Weeknights on Audience. Only on DirecTV.